Hi, I just wanted to come on real quick to talk a little bit about self-care. I know I've talked about this in the past, but it's just a really important topic right now with everything going on in the world, okay? I'm not coming on here to tell people how they should think or they're right or wrong or this, that, or anything else. Regardless of how you think, the one thing you do have control over is how you feel, okay? Not initially, because the environment is going to bring things up in us, okay? Whether that environment is other people, our own belief systems, or whatever the case may be, internal, external environment, it doesn't matter. Sorry, I had a hair on me. They all bring out different emotions in us, okay? What I'm talking about is what do you do with that emotion? Because sometimes emotions feel so strong. It's like, how could it not be right? Or how can I not be justified in feeling this or expressing this or whatever. However it comes out in you. Sometimes we do feel emotions so strongly that it's like, this has to be expressed. Or how do people just not intuitively know how I feel? Well, with regards to that, not everyone picks up on emotions as easily as other people. Everybody has strengths and everybody has challenges. Okay, so we're not cookie cutter. We're all individuals and we all bring something different to the table. Okay, so that's really important to understand. As human beings, we tend to expect from other people what we're willing to do or what we think. We expect that they're the same. They're not. We're not. We're all very different. So when we can understand that and let go of that need of having to make people think like you, we can let go of a lot of distress. Okay. So how do we feel better when we're feeling really upset? It's not easy. It's really important in those moments to pay attention to what you're thinking and why. So that's part of the healing process, right? Because you're feeling that way for a reason. We're not negating or we're not saying you don't have a right to feel a certain way. We all feel the way we feel for a reason, okay? It's just important to really get to the bottom of what that reason is. Sometimes it is because of what we're picking up in our environment. Other times it's more about what's going on inside. So maybe I have a unhealed aspect of myself, or something hasn't been worked on or sat with, and therefore it comes out and I end up projecting that onto situations that are similar or whatever, or bring up the same type of emotion. Other times it's just crazy energy. Because there's a lot of that going on in this day and age. There really is. Like, most people are getting hit on a daily basis of things that it's like, how is this real? I was joking with my nail tech yesterday. I was getting my nails done and I was joking with her. I says, yeah, I'm ready for the aliens to land on my front lawn and pour them a scotch. I was joking, obviously, but at the same time, that's how surreal our environment is these days, in a sense, compared to if you just rewind 10 years. It reminds me of that movie, was it Dante's Peak with Pierce Brosnan? And he was a volcanist, where he dealt with volcanoes. And I remember him using this analogy that said, if you put a frog into boiling water, it will jump out and save itself. However, if you put it in cool water and bring it up to a slow boil, it will sit in the water and die. I feel like that's where we're at in some ways. Not death. That's not what I mean by that. I just mean that it's easy to rationalize, normalize, and do things like that over a slow period of time. However, if we actually rewound 10 years ago and turned on the news and saw our world the way it is right now, I think we would all be like, what the heck is going on? it would feel like that movie. I don't remember what the name of the movie was, but his kid grew up on TV his whole life, and he thought he was having like a real life, and it wasn't. He was a movie or a TV show or something. I forget what that was. It was the same actor that played the pet detective. It was actually a decent movie. It wasn't epic or anything, but it was decent. Anyway, I digress. So my point is when you're sitting with emotions that are impacting your mental health and how you can show up in your own life, be mindful that you're not perseverating and feeding that emotion, okay? Like if I'm upset or if I'm in a breakup and I'm really sad, I'm not going to listen to sad songs or songs that remind me of that person if I want to feel something different, right? So it's, again, not burying your head in the sand, but it's managing your emotions in such a way that it's serving you, okay? How do you want to feel? And is that in alignment with how you're feeling? And if it's not, then you're being responsible by intentionally engaging in other emotions to try and switch that around. Not lie to yourself or avoid, right? I'm not telling people to avoid, but sometimes in the moment, a level of avoidance is not a bad thing. But when it's constant and we never sit with the actual issue at hand that is creating the problem in the first place, which is never external, by the way. There was this great meme, and I'm not going to quote it because I don't remember, but it said basically, your pain with something is nothing to do with the event itself. It's all about your perspective of the event. So a good example of that, when it talks to perspective, that's another way we can impact emotion, right? You see the difference in how these two things hit here. If I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm sitting there thinking about all the things that I have to do, that I don't have the energy to do anything with it because I'm too overwhelmed, okay? I have to mow my lawn, or I have to clean my house, or I have to go to work, or I have to do the dishes, right? I've been there. So I'm trying to give examples I can relate to here. Another way to look at that, all right? We can't change what needs to be done. We all have responsibilities, right? But another way to look at that may be from a more positive mindset is, I get to mow my lawn and I'm grateful I have a lawn, right? I get to wash my dishes and I'm grateful that I have dishes and food to eat on it, that they're dirty, okay? I get to go to work. Because I don't know about you, but I've been out of work before, and that's a scary place to be for a lot of people, all right? Hopefully your faith gets you through and you find a job. However, doesn't negate the fact that that's not a stressful place to be when you have bills to pay, okay? So when you do have a job, and I've had jobs where it's like, I have to go to work. It's a reality, okay? When things cost money, we have to find, how do we get money, okay? Hopefully we're earning it and not stealing it or whatever, but to each his own, okay? I'm not saying, not even getting into that. There's just a lot going on in this day and age. So when you got a job that you get to go to, whether you like it or not, be thankful you have one. And if you don't like it, then try and look for another one. I'm not minimizing the fact that it's not always that easy. I get it. I do. I've been alive for over 50 years. I get it. I'm just trying to help with giving another perspective that can help with dealing with one's own emotions that are difficult to sit with. Okay, so those are just some ideas, like changing our perspective or the way we choose to look at something, okay? Other things, throw on a comedy if it's just in the moment to try and get that laughter, because that's good for our brains, it's good for our emotions. Spend time with someone who makes you feel good, right? whether that's on the phone, FaceTime, texting, or in person. If you don't have that option, then maybe it's go outside. In this day and like right now, in the warmer weather where I live, I'm outside barefoot a lot. I have a rock in my front yard I like to sit on and meditate. I don't know how my neighbors feel about that if they see me, but hey, it's my yard. I get to. It's not like I'm indecent. My point is do you, okay? Take care of you, because you matter, you're important, and how you show up in life is going to really determined by how you're showing up for yourself. If you're taking care of yourself, finding your balance, whether through exercise, meditation, healthy eating, all of the above, perspective changes, just how you look at the world, setting goals for yourself. These are all positive things that help us move forward. So I wish that for you. I wish you all the best. Everyone, honestly. Even people who can't stand me. I wish you the best too. I do. Because when we get to a place where we can't stand somebody, that speaks more to us and where we're at and what we need to work on in ourselves. Okay? So anyone who's working with that kind of heavy, especially if it has to do with me, I'm sending you positivity. I send you prayers for that type of healing, because it's not easy stuff. It's not easy work. I've been there, gone through it. Forgiveness is not for other people, it's for ourselves, so that we're not holding onto that toxicity. It was a really cool meme that I recently put out there. It said something to the effect of, anger is like drinking poison hoping that it harms somebody else, or holding on to a hot stone to throw it at somebody when you're the only one that gets burned. So be mindful of where your thoughts take you, where your emotions are at, and how do you impact that? Because that is one of the only things that we have any level of control over. How other people see us, how other people see other things is outside of our wheelhouse. And the more we keep ourselves in misery around that, well, the more we're feeding that machine, the more we're feeding that misery. If you don't want to be miserable, how do you change that? So I'm going to leave that there. That's something we all have to be able to sit with ourselves on when it comes to anything that gets us to that level of emotion around other people or even in our own life. And if you need help, find someone who can help you. Some of these things are heavy. You know, I do therapy, but I've been in therapy and it's helped me. Helped me with perspective, helped me with learning. The key is finding someone that you can feel safe with, someone that you trust, someone that you basically vibe with, right? And that's not always going to be the same for everybody. That's one thing I always tell people. It's like, listen, we're going to talk and I'm going to be authentic as to who I am and what you can expect from me. And if that doesn't work for you, find someone else. That's the most important thing. Do what helps you. I don't ever take that personally, quite truthfully, because all I can be is who I am. That's all any of us can be. A lot of people try to be something else and only become miserable in the process. Don't do that to yourself. Be authentic. Be who you are. And the right people will love you for it. And the wrong ones, well, it doesn't matter anyway. Because they're not good for you anyway. If people make you feel like you have to be something you're not, maybe not a right fit. I think we're all happier in life when we stop trying to make round pegs fit into square holes, or vice versa, however you say it. Work with the energy, not against it. Trust yourself. And that alone takes healing. All right. Well, I'm wishing you all the best, whoever you are. And take care of yourself. You deserve that. Okay? And you're only going to be as good for other people as you are for yourself first. That's a harsh reality. So if you're spent and overwhelmed, you're not showing up good for people anyway. So don't put everyone in the world before yourself. I'm not saying don't help, don't love, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it starts with self. And that's what that means. All right? And anyone that tells you you're not as important as they are, well, it's a little toxic. So just be mindful. Okay? So wishing you all the best, and I'll talk soon. All right. Bye.